All right, so among all pairs of numbers whose difference is 8, find the pair whose product is as small as possible. What's the minimum product? So as small as possible. This is a maximizing or minimizing problem. And so our formula we're going to use is we're going to use a negative b divided by 2a formula, okay? But before we do that, we've got to read the problem. It says read the problem carefully and decide which quantity needs to be maximized or minimized. What I really need to do is I need to make make equations out of this scenario. Find among all pairs of numbers whose difference is 8. Let's pause there. Numbers whose difference is 8. So I'm looking at pair of numbers. So two numbers whose difference is 8. If I don't know the numbers, I can call one x and the other one y. And their difference is 8. So if I subtract them, I'll get 8. So x minus y equals 8. Okay. They want their product to be as small as possible. Okay, their product to be as small as possible. So now we're talking about their product. So I gotta make an equation for their product. I'll just call it P. And their product would be x times y. Okay, so it's not as complicated as it looks. Now, our next step here is we've got to get these two equations with two variables to become one equation with one variable. So what I would recommend you do is I'd recommend that you solve for a variable here. I would solve for y. Okay, I'm going to solve for y. And what I'm going to do, and I'll show you kind of what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to solve this for y. So y equals negative 8 divided by 1 be negative 8. Negative x divided by negative 1 be plus x. So y equals x minus 8. Okay? So I solve it for y. Now, why am I doing that? Well, y equals this expression here. So what I'm allowed to do is I'm allowed to plug this in to my other equation. And let me tell you the value of doing that. So now I'm going to have p equals x times, instead of writing y, I'm going to write x minus 8. So instead of having two equations with two letters, now I have one equation with just one letter. Okay? So I can distribute this, x squared minus 8x. All right. Now, the key here on this one is this. Okay, here's the key. I've got a quadratic equation. All right, and I want to find the minimum product. So how do I find the minimum product? Once I've got it, I'm going to multiply this. I call this standard form. I'm going to identify A and B. Okay, A is 1, B is negative 8, and I'm going to plug that into negative B divided by 2A. So negative 8 divided by 2 times 1. Negative times a negative is positive 8. By 2 is 4. So that gives me either the minimum or the maximum value. This gives you the minimum or the maximum. In this case, this gives me the minimum value. So that gives me the minimum x. So 4 is equal to x. So x is 4. Now to find y, I know x minus y equals 8. Okay. So x minus y equals 8. X is 4. So 4 minus y equals 8. Okay, subtract 4, subtract 4. Negative y equals 4. By negative 1 divided by negative 1. Y is negative 4. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find their product. So the pair of numbers is 4 and negative 4. So 4 and negative 4 are the pair of numbers. Negative 4. I should put negative 4 and 4. Sorry. I'll just put, okay, negative 4 and 4 are the numbers. Now, their product could be negative 4 times 4, which would be negative 16.